I'm going to show you how to make a pie chart here. And I'm going to show you in two ways. So I'm going to do two videos. One is if you know the number of something. So here we have a number of pupils we asked in a class what was their favourite food. And we had 4 that answered Swedish meatballs, 3 said pizza, 6 said spaghetti bolognese, and 7 said hamburger. So if we're going to make a pie chart out of that, the first thing we're going to need to do is use our compass to draw a neat circle. Put your point in the edge of the paper and do a nice sharp circle around the whole piece of paper, and make sure that your start point and end point end up together. You've got a perfect circle. What you also have here is you have a point in the middle of the circle. I usually start straight up, and this gives me my 0 point for drawing, for measuring with my protractor where my starting point is. So how are we going to do this? Well, the first thing we need to know is we need to know how many people did I ask in my investigation. If we add 4 plus 3, we get 7. 7 plus 6 is 13, and 13 plus 7 is 20. So we added the sum number of people. This is the mathematical term for the sum. You use the sign sigma. The sum of everybody that we asked was 20. So this gives us a good idea. So if we had all 20 people had answered Swedish meatballs, then the whole of this circle would be one colour. And we know that there are 360 degrees in a circle. So how many degrees would one person represent? Well, then we'd take the 360 degrees, which is the whole circle, and divide it by 20 people, because we had 20 people investigation, and that will give us how many degrees per person. We don't need a calculator for this, because 360 divided by 20 can be written like this. It's the same as 36 times 10, that's 360, and 20 can be written as 2 times 10. So a lot of people talk about cancelling 0, that 360 is the same as 36 times 10, and 20 is the same as 2 times 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. So the answer here would be 36 divided by 2, which would be 18 degrees. So yes, you can talk about cancelling the zeros, but you have to understand what you're actually doing. So 18 degrees in our circle represents one person. Okay, now we can go back to our table here, because we know that it was actually 4 people that ate Swedish meatballs. And if every person is to have 18 degrees, then 4 people should have 18 degrees multiplied by 4. 8 4s are 32, and 4 1s are 4, plus 3 is 7. So 4 people can be represented by 72 degrees. So now we take out our protractor and we put the center point in the middle of the circle, and we make sure that the cross line here is going directly on the line here. And now we actually just measure 72 degrees, which represented 4 people. And we use the outer layer because we start always at the 0, and for on this side, 0 is on the outside. So 60, 70, 72 degrees would be exactly here. Now that's just outside our circle, but it's not a problem, because we know that this now represents 4 people, and it's 72 degrees. And it was Swedish meatballs. So we would write in here, sketch it in a colour. It's very particular for that. So the first one we've done is 72 degrees, and that's 4 people Swedish meatballs. Now for pizza, it was 3 people. So we would need 18 degrees times 3 will give us how many degrees 3 people represents. 8 times 3 is 24, and 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So 18 degrees times 3 is 54 degrees. So now we could write pizza from here, which will be center point in the middle of our protractor, and make sure that the blue line here behind is on that 0 point. And now we're going to do 54 degrees. So 54 degrees is exactly here. And we fill in 54 degrees from the center out to the... And then we are going to have pizza. So we take a different color pen and we call this pizza. And we sketch it in a different color. Then we had 6 people that liked bolognese, so we're going to do 18 degrees times 6. Or what we could do actually is we could just double the number of degrees we had for pizza, but we'll do 18 times 6. It's always good to practice our multiplication. 8 6s are 48. 10's to the left, 1's down below, and 1 6 is 6 plus 4 is 10. So we get 108 degrees. So now we have to go from where we were. We've just finished at pizza. We start in the middle point here of the circle, and we put our protractor on the end of pizza, and then we start a new 0, and we're going to do 108 degrees. So we start here, 50, 60, here's 90, here is, whoops, make sure you don't move your protractor like I just did. 108 degrees is going to be just here. Now we have 108 degrees. Go from the center point. Just go to the edge of the circle. Here is our guideline, but we don't go all the way out there. We just go to the edge of the circle. And now we take a different color pen, and this was our bolognese. And we sketch that in a different color. And then if we've done everything right, we should have the correct number of degrees here for hamburger. Because we're always checking that we've done the right thing as often as we can, we'll take 18 degrees here, multiply it by 7. 8 7s are 56. So then we have 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. So we should have 126 degrees left over for hamburger. We've got the center of the circle. We have got our protractor on the line here. We go all the way around, 100, 110, 126, which is exactly where we started, back at the starting point. So yes, we have done our diagram correctly, and we must fill in that this last area here was hamburger. Okay, so there we have created a pie chart or a circle diagram directly from a table of information when it's number. I'm going to do one more pie chart where we actually work from percentages to drawing a pie chart, and I'll show you how that one works as well. And it's actually very similar. You're just using percentages instead. This gives you a bit of an idea anyway how pie charts work and how easy it is to actually look at them now. It's quite easy to see, well, we can see what they like the most. The hamburger is the biggest section, and bolognese is next bigger, and the third biggest is meatballs. But meatballs and pizza were fairly similar. Pizza's just slightly less. So the good thing about the pie chart, it's very visual. You don't really need the data here, and if this was representative for the whole school, then this would give us a good idea of what the pupils' favourite favourite lunchtimes were. Yeah, so good luck with calculating with circle diagrams and pie charts. They're really actually quite fun to make. Bye.